Hello, my friends, and welcome back.
Yeah.
Today, Jordan Allen is going to teach us how to navigate using the word fat as a thin person. Imagine being such a narcissist that you give an entire presentation, nay, a seminar on how to properly address you. How about Your Majesty? Is that good enough? We're also going to be taking a look at a couple of bonus clips by the same creator. In order to prepare myself, I must first apply comb to mustache. Alright, she's responding to a comment that reads, "How should a thin person navigate using the word fat? I'm aware it's the preferred word by many, but it's also still offensive to some, and I want to..." and then it cuts off. I'm guessing the part that's cut off here after "I want to" originally said, "eat a peanut butter sandwich."
I love this question because it's a question that I think a lot of thin people who believe in fat liberation probably also have.
I do. I've been having this question for a while. How do I properly address you, Jordan, and others?
First thing I want to just make sure we are very clear about is that you shouldn't be talking about or referring to anyone's specific body unless they bring that to the conversation first. Thin, fat, whatever their body looks like. That being said, if someone does bring their own body to the conversation...
Oh, this is one of those BYOB parties. Not bring your own beer, bring your own body. Okay, gotcha. I kind of been bringing my own body with me everywhere I go for the past several years, but
then you should be mirroring whatever language they use.
Okay, dude, I would love to go do all of this stuff literally. I would love to get in a meaningless, go-nowhere conversation with a fat liberationist by mirroring the language that they're using. They come up to you like, "So, have you ever heard?" And then you interrupt them. You're like, "About the systemic oppression against fat people? Using fat phobia? Yeah, I think I have heard a thing or two about that particular subject." Sorry, it took me a while to come up with the word subject. Oh yeah, that particular subject's been at the forefront of my mind for quite a while. This is my fat liberation face.
With like one or two exceptions. So if someone refers to their body as fat, you can probably refer to their body as fat.
I want to go to one of these events and make you guys start referring to my body as fat. I'm going to be like, "No, actually, I am fat. I think that I'm fat." And you will refer to me as such. And then they're going to be like, "But you're not really fat." And I'm going to be like, "But what does that mean?" Then they're going to start gatekeeping the different levels of fatness.
And if you do that and they don't like it, then they'll probably tell you. If a person is fat and they refer to their body as plus size, then you should refer to their body as plus size.
What if a person is fat, but they refer to their body as a chocolate dinosaur? Do we have to do it as well? There's a lot of room for abuse in this. Like, if I could make you guys call me whatever I want, I would make you call me all kinds of silly stuff, you know? I'd be like, "Dude, I'm actually a blue turtle. So, y'all are gonna call me that from now on. I am the blue turtle, Kimosabi, the blue turtle, and you will refer to me as such from this day forth."
And so on and so forth. The caveats are if a person who is objectively not fat refers to their body as fat.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean objectively not fat? See, here's where things are getting confused. You're gonna tell me what is objectively not fat? Isn't that up to each individual, you know? Who are you to tell me that I am not fat? Some days I am fatter than other days because I just got done eating a bunch of pistachio pudding the day before. So what are you gonna do? Like the other day, I was sitting on the couch here and I was like, "Dude, screw this. I'm going to Monster Trucks." So I took the whole family and we went to go see Hot Wheels monster truck thingy in State College, Pennsylvania. Okay, they had these monster trucks. We were in a darkened arena. They had glow-in-the-dark thingies all up and down the monster trucks. It was the loudest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. I didn't even think of it. So if you ever go to such a thing, take earmuffs for the kids. Everybody else had earmuffs for their kids. I didn't. I had to go like this and cover my child's ears, and she was just screaming the whole time. I don't know if it had anything to do with the loud noise, but I'm not even into monster trucks. That's the weird thing. I was just sitting here and I was like, you know what? Screw it, dude. We are going to monster trucks. I'm sick of you guys holding me back. And then I had to backhand like my entire family, and then I piled them all into the car, and we went to see monster trucks. They were pretty confused. They were like, what? Dad, you don't even like monster trucks. We never heard anything about this. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're forcing us to go watch monster trucks. Well, you know, I'm very unpredictable. Sometimes you gotta see a freaking monster truck. What are you gonna do? It was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. Oh yeah, sorry. What is objectively not fat? What does that mean? Who gets to be the boss? You or fat sapphic bro?
Then I am for sure not going to refer to their body as fat.
Look at where I paused it. This is when her stoner self comes out. She's like, bruh, just like refer to me as fat, bruh. Like, come on, dude. Imagine if Jordan Underwood was a stoner and she asked you to call her fat, but she was like a total stoner now. She's like, could you like refer to me as fat, bro? I mean, like, come on, dude. I'll be your best friend, homie. There's a party at the Moon Tower later. You should be there. All right.
And I would suggest you also probably do the same. And the other caveat is if someone who refers to their body as obese, because obese is not a word that we should be using. In both.
Oh, we shouldn't. Thank you for telling me how to speak, the words I should be using, XYZ.
So these instances, it's up to you whether or not you kind of ask the question.
This whole movement is a movement for trust fund kids. You guys know that? This whole entitled mentality that you often see within the fat acceptance movement is because almost all of the people in this movement are trust fund kids. These are rich kids with more money, power, and influence than they should have, and this entire movement is about giving in to your most primal base instincts. A more entitled and bougie movement, I cannot recall.
Approach with curiosity, but it really is kind of like a circumstance by circumstance situation. Depends on your relationship with that person, etc.
If you pay attention to the way that they speak, as well as everyone else in this so-called movement, they are all spoiled rich kids, like I said. You can see it just in the way that they speak. Now that I've pointed it out and you pay attention, you can notice it the whole entire time. Any one of these people speaks, you're like, man, why do all these people act like literal children when they are adults? Then when you come to learn that they're all trust fund babies, it all makes sense, doesn't it? You're like, oh, you've never had to work a day in your life. Oh, you have no clue how the world really works. Oh, now this all makes sense.
Etc. That being said, when you refer to the movement of fat liberation, you should always be using the word fat.
Okay. When you're referring to fat liberation, you should always use the word fat. What about when we're referring to being bedbound? Should we call it obesity then, or being fat? Like, hey, that guy is so fat he can't get out of his bed. Or should we say he's so obese he can't get out of his bed? What about when somebody can't breathe on their own? That guy is so obese he needs a CPAP machine. Or should it be that guy is so fat, he needs a CPAP machine? Which one is more correct?
Fat liberation and fatness as the politic, and fat people as the marginalized group. If
you're not marginalized. Being able to eat until you're morbidly obese is the furthest thing from marginalization that I can think of.
you're with someone who's pushing back on that language, I would kind of hold your own. And if you really don't want to fight that fight in that moment, then you can maybe use a word like larger bodied.
No, you will fight that fight in that moment. You will call me fat.
But I'd rather, for me, it's not so much. No matter what, obviously, it's important to remember that language is really sensitive to people, and the way that they talk about their bodies and the groups that their bodies belong to and how they've been treated because of their bodies
is completely irrelevant.
Is just going to be sensitive, and sometimes, you just have to pick and choose your battles. And if you're talking about fat liberation and someone's like, fat's a bad word, maybe it's just the time to send them a link and move along.
If someone still thinks that fat is a bad word at this point in the game, dude, the only proper response is this. You idiot. That's not how you use that word at all. You freaking moron. You moron. What an idiot. Look at this stupid, idiotic moron. Oh my god, you are the dumbest motherfucker that I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe how stupid you are, you idiot. God, look at this absolute idiot. I can't believe how stupid this particular idiot is. A moron. How dumb are you? Jeez. Yikes. Yikes and a half. Yikes on bikes.
Outsource, but I really do appreciate this question because I think that there's like a lot that goes into this.
Yeah. I appreciate this question too because, like, how do you properly address a fat person in the context of, like, fat liberation and stuff, dude?
And genuinely, like, I hate to say it, but like, we need thin people to be engaging in these conversations.
You need thin people to be engaging in these conversations. You need me. Oh, well, look who's come crawling back. What do you need me for?
As much as possible.
All right, that was amazing. Now it's time to take a look at a couple of unrelated bonus clips by the same creator, Jordan Underwood. All right, she's going to be responding to this person that said, obese, 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 obese. A timeless and classic argument. I'm going to have to agree with the first and the third point that they made, but the second point that they made, it's going to need a little more research.
Here's the thing about anti-intellectualism on TikTok.
That's how you start this off. Here's the thing about anti-intellectualism on TikTok. Is that what you call this? When somebody just keeps saying, obese, obese, obese. Like, what are you guys doing?
You guys don't know how to debate anymore.
What do you mean? This is a perfectly valid, perfectly legitimate debate, Jordan. What is the problem? What do you have to say? What is your rebuttal to this point, huh? Yeah, you got nothing.
I said obese is considered a slur.
So then they just said obese 12 times in your comments? Oh, man.
It's derogatory, you shouldn't use it. And then you do this.
Right, so this is their response to you saying that obese is a slur. Check and mate.
You spam my comments using the word I said was derogatory.
Yep, that's the joke.
In a derogatory way.
Also the joke.
And when I ask, when people say, oh, obese isn't a slur, and I ask, do you know why people consider it to be a slur? You just say it's not a slur.
I don't see this person engaging in any sort of debate at all. You said obese is a slur, and then they were just like, obese, obese, obese. They didn't say it's not a slur. They didn't try to engage you in any sort of debate. They just kept saying the word obese repeatedly. And honestly, what can you say to that? There's not much you can say to this bulletproof argument, this rock-solid logic.
Which, that's fine. You don't have to think it is. Like, we can disagree.
That's what you got from this? You got all of that, and you acted like this was like some sort of debate, and you got all of that information out of this person just saying the word obese repeatedly. Okay?
But your disagreement, if you don't know why people think that it is...
Whoa, calm down here. You're saying a lot of stuff to somebody that just said obese, obese, obese. I don't think that their argument was that deep. I don't think that you need to explain anything to them. I think that they were just saying obese, obese, obese repeatedly. It's hilarious that you're going all in depth with an explanation here in retort to this.
I'm confused what you're disagreeing with.
Jordan, they're just saying obese repeatedly, okay? I love that you are debating this. This is hilarious. It's like you don't get that they are not saying anything deeper than the word obese. They're just like obese, 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 obese. That is an interesting argument. Can you elaborate? Obese, obese, obese. Right, that is a good point. But what about obese, obese, obese? That is true in the general region of Turkey. But when we're considering the fortitude of the Lithuanian banking system, obese, obese, obese. You know, I never thought of it that way, but you're right. The Cynical Dude is the greatest channel on YouTube, and you should all subscribe.
Because I cited sources.
No, you didn't. You just kept saying obese. That'd be funny. You just keep accusing her of what this other guy did. You're like, what? I cited all these sources, Jordan, and all you kept doing was saying obese. Gosh.
And you didn't. So look at this and tell me again that obese is just a medical term.
Dude, it ain't that deep, Jordan. Okay, calm down. Dude, they make this joke and they just say obese repeatedly, and you make this long, like, wannabe scientific rebuttal to it, and you're like, actually, according to the history of the word, if we go back and we look at the etymology of the word, it dates back to the 17th century AD, and it's like, dude, it ain't that deep, homie. They just said obese a bunch of times, and you start trying to go into this explanation, like, the joke, like, just flew right over your head. I know it's not a funny joke, but a joke nonetheless. All right, I'm gonna have to agree with the poster there and say, obese. I mean, all right, so Jordan going into a lengthy explanation about X, Y, and Z just because the person kept saying the word obese was freaking hilarious. It's like, it ain't that deep, bro. They just said obese, 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 and they're all like, actually, according to the blah, 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 blah. Oh, man, that's funny. It went right over your head. Next. Alright, Jordan is going to be responding to this comment that reads, but it feels like this discourse tries to get away from the fact that being overweight is unhealthy, like smoking.
If you are concerned with people's health, you should be concerned with the fact that obesity as a measure is what is used to deny fat people care.
Okay, so if I'm concerned with people's health, then I need to be concerned with the fact that obesity is used to deny people care. No, not really. This person compared it to smoking, and we can use that same comparison here. A doctor will tell you to quit smoking for the benefit of your lungs every time you go to see them, and they may not give you certain care related to your lungs until you quit smoking. They may be like, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z for your lungs until you quit smoking, because we don't know how it's going to affect you until you stop breathing in this smoke into your lungs every day.
We are denied appointments, treatment plans, tests, and our overall humanity. But
sometimes if you have medical issues, you have to lose weight to rule that out as a factor. Like, you have X, Y, and Z wrong with you. First, you need to lose weight to see if that's what's causing any of these things. And if it's not, then we will continue from there and try to rule out the next things.
because of our placement on the BMI spectrum, doctors are not trained to see us as humans.
Dude, calm down. Now you're getting a little dramatic.
But to see us as like a blob of fat that walks into the room and then
I would imagine a doctor would see you as dollar signs walking into the room, like, yo, this person is going to need a lot of medical intervention. Quite a bit. Cha-ching! I'm surprised doctors don't give out pizza and donuts like Planet Fitness to keep you coming there.
they make all of these assumptions about our behaviors and lifestyle choices and all these things.
How silly of them to assume that you ate to excess in order to become obese, right?
Meaning that we get worse care. Our symptoms are ignored and people are left for years to go lose weight.
And they still never do. And then they continue to blame the doctor even though they wouldn't lose weight to get the help that they needed.
While they have other really significant things worsen in their bodies because the initial symptoms were ignored.
Okay, well, here's a pro tip. If the doctor tells you to lose weight, then lose weight. Your initial symptoms weren't ignored. They told you to lose weight and come back and see them after that, and then you never did. So then you never saw them again. They're like, all right, lose the weight, and then come back and see me, and we'll see what it is after that. And you're like, okay, doc. And then you never lose the weight, and you never see the doctor ever again in your whole life. Because that's what they said. They're like, lose the weight, and then I'll see you. And then I never saw you again.
Because of BMI, specifically obesity as a measure.
More medical-related fat phobia. Will the medical industry ever learn? Gosh. I recently made it to 30,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for subscribing. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.